All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025. If you're not this already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You can find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today here. Great market for day trading, level to level. Awesome action here. But we finally have, well, yeah, probably a bear break here, right? I mean, kind of not really following through, and honestly, call me crazy, but this looks a little kind of like a pin, doesn't it? Especially like that last really hour. There is some, it'd be interesting to see what they do here in the last half hour. You can see some, yeah, they're really targeting 580 now. It was 585 most of the day, sort of between 580 and 585. You can see that they're kind of just targeting that here, but not really anything below that. We'll see if they flush it out into the final. I'm doing this video a little early. It's 3:37 Eastern time, so we'll see if they flush it out at the end. But one of the things I said to everybody last night was look for, like, this is fourth down for Bears. Like, this is, and it looks like they finally got it here, right? So this is 1st and 10, right? You got like 9 yards. You tried to get it. You tried to get 2nd and 10. You got pushed back. 3rd and 10. 4th down. You got to get it 4th down. Like, you have to get it, otherwise it's going to be a turnover. And it looks like they finally have able to like push this down, and I guess you could say triggered the head and shoulders. I mean, it never really triggered on a daily close, so I guess it's in play. So they finally got that done, and it almost looked like they were fumbling at 12 o'clock, right? They had a nice 65-point squeeze, caught a lot of that off of the reclaim. By the way, this is something I talk about in the Carnivore course that I just updated. It's on sale, 40% off. The reclaim of 58.65. That's a failed breakdown, and nice squeeze there. But for bulls here, you kind of needed to follow through off of that. You didn't really do that. So 585 got defended. We backed off, and then just kind of grinding back down here. Volatility not really going crazy, which tells me we might need a spike here, a little bit more of a spike, before we can put in a bottom. Now, I don't think we're going to go too much lower before we get a pretty good counter trend rally. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, you can see the trend line sitting right there. The other one is that as of Wednesday, put call was at 173. I have to imagine it's got to be at like a 2 or higher now. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. Yesterday as well. If I can type everything in right. You can see AAII, highest bear reading since, I think, August 8th. So that was the August low. Bulls keep going down. So sentiment here, positioning here, starting to get a little stretched. And we didn't really get the vol spike. I've been telling you guys it's not going to get much past 20. We'll see if they try to inch it up. Maybe we get one. Sometimes the VIX can overshoot. But it's a little stretched here. Now, what can happen here into Monday? Are we stretched enough that we're going to squeeze now? It's still possible. I mean, like, the Bears really, like, I'm just going to assume they're going to close it down below here. But, I mean, we've seen this happen before, haven't we? Right? Like, close it down on a Friday really hard, and then we just gap it up. The following Monday, I think this one, yep, right here, 9.6. They just capped it up. We've seen that plenty of times here lately. So is that a possibility? Yeah. Am I willing to make a call on that? Not really. Do I want to play roulette? Not really. But that said, if that doesn't happen and they do give us a vol spike, there's a lot down here. Now, everybody's talking about this stupid gap. Forget the gap. Don't buy the gap. Everyone's going to buy that gap and they're going to get steamrolled. You actually don't want, this is another thing I talk about in the Carnivore. You don't want to fill those gaps. It's more bullish if you don't. And right now, I guess the bulls can say that they haven't filled it. But if we do, we're going to roll through it, and I think you're going to be looking down here. So I do like this area. That's a good hit, good trend line. It's a third hit of a trend line. It's got some nice symmetry to it as well. If that's not exactly it, we'll be looking at ES a little bit closer, right? 5,800 even on ES. Pre-election level, right? 200 MA right down there. Also, maybe we could find another level, right? How about this? and just drag it down. There's the 200 right there. So just below 58, 57.60 or so. I'll just leave it here for now. Another area that we'll be watching for very closely is QQQ 500. And go back and watch the videos earlier this week. I retweeted this myself. I talked about it earlier this week, but this is a prediction, not necessarily a prediction I made, but what am I doing here? Wrong buttons. All right. But take a look at the 4 hour. So if you go back to 2 Fridays ago, I said this is a possibility here where the RSI didn't get quite oversold, right? We go up to the top trend line, the RSI is this, and then we go down to this lower falling wedge area at 500. 200 4 hour upsloping right there. So we get to an oversold reading on the RSI. Could line up pretty nicely, right? So I'll be watching that level very closely. Previous all-time high, right, in July, right in that area, whole round number. The Gamma Boys love their whole round number. We got OPEX next week. They're probably going to defend 500. So a lot of stuff going on. Another thing, too. What do we have early next week? We had non-farm payroll today. Yeah, it blew out. Everybody knows that. But what do we have early next week? PPI on Tuesday, CPI Wednesday, right? If rates are still like surging up into that, there's another kind of case here where, all right, we're just extended on rates, we're extended on the dollar, and maybe markets are a little, overdone and priced in kind of inflation. So that's where I'd be looking for the next bounce here. But bears control otherwise. If we get back above, I'll just say 585 spot. Let's just keep it simple. I'll just say 585 SPY. We'll squeeze again. And it's that simple. So this is the way I'm playing it. You don't really need to jump in front of things. You just look for those failures and then get on if and when they happen. Another thing we can look at too is Russell did hit a key level today. So the RTY did break through that, the 618, but the cash session is a little bit different, right? IWM right to the 200. August low, 618, picture perfect at the 215 handle. Could it go lower? Yeah, I mean, of course, anything can go lower. It's the Russell. So, but, it did hit. So just something to keep in mind there. Another thing to hit, the diamond, 420 level. We talked about that. Look at that trend line there. Could it go through? Yeah, YN already went through it a little bit. The 200 MA is just below. You had a previous all-time high, I think, right there. So just watch. But, I mean, man, like the Bears had to work really hard for this, didn't they? I mean, that was literally 4 tries. Usually a bear impulse, just as another thing just to keep in mind here, like this is a bear impulse. Like we should have just gapped like right here, right this day right here. We should have just gapped down here. We should have just puked it. And then you would have gone down here and then this and then back test like that. I don't know. That's why I'm just thinking like this is kind of low energy here. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to go that much lower here before a good squeeze. But we'll see. Finally, the Bears got it done. Took them a lot of tries. SMH here down 5 points. It is off the lows, and it's actually hanging in there okay, at least relatively speaking. But that backed off. Obviously, IGV backed off. That is now triggered official. Well, technically it failed, but because it closed below and then it closed back above. But I don't know. I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt. If it closed back above 100, though, that will squeeze, though. Got the 100 MA right here, and then if it keeps going down, I really like $90 a lot. I shouldn't give you guys all these levels for free, but I do. Transport's down 1 1/4 here. So that's continuing to bear flag here. And we'll see if I can get down there. Again, there's another trend line there. So this probably overshoots, though. You've already hit it several times, though. So I'd say closer to the 200 would be better for the transports. All right, yeah, let's look at rates. So we looked at the 30s here, but yeah, I mean, does it overshoot to, up to these upper levels? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping it, I guess. And you do have, we got Monday and then we got PPI Tuesday. I mean, I think if you're up into PPI, CPI, you got to think that that's going to be it. At least that's what I would think. Yeah, 10s through the 618. 1-day pullback, still pretty strong. Next level's up there around 5. Maybe they want it to 10s at 5% to get the CNBC markets in turmoil headline. We'll see. 5's breaking out, 2's breaking out. This is the biggest problem here. I've been talking about this for a long time, that if bears are going to have a case here, it's the 2-year, not the 10, stupid. Just look at the 2s. Why? Because this is now I think there's a 90% chance of a pause at the next Fed meeting. Why is that? Because the 2s are above the Fed funds. Forget the stupid 10-year. Like, it's a headline number, but this is where the Fed keeps their interest rate. So that's your big risk there. Who knows? Maybe Trump can jawbone it down on the 20th. Let's see. Anyway, XHB down 2. That didn't take out yesterday's low, so no follow through on that kind of liquidity grab here. With ZB though, it's not really the worst looking candle. It is off the lows. So XHB, I think they're still kind of sniffing something out here. It could still fill out that head and shoulder target at 100 though. So I wouldn't rule that out. VNQ couldn't do it. Big sell there. Yeah, we noted that was an issue here, and we couldn't bounce at that trend line. I didn't play it with anything, but I did make sure to make note of that. There is support here at 85 though. That's where we broke out of before. 618, just getting hit. Yep, then you got a 50% fit. Yeah, you got a 50% fib right here. So this is what I call stacking fibs. So you got 2 fibs from 2 major pivots, and you got a big shelf that you took 2 months to break out from. So yeah, it could be a good level there for VNQ. XLF outside move, still holding the 100 MA for now. The problem with XLF here is you didn't really build much support on the way up, at least on the weekly. There's quite a bit at 46 though. We'll see here next week. KRE down, did come off the lows though. Again, it took a long time to break through this. That's why it's having trouble breaking down. And the same thing goes for the Russell too. And the KBE coming off the lows as well. And broker dealers finally. Is this, oh my God, guys, is this a lower high on the broker dealers? Lord help us all if that's the case, right? If the broker dealers can't rally, you know something's wrong, right? But yeah, it's on borrowed time on the monthly. I've been saying that for a long time, but borrowed time can last for a long time. We'll see. Can we make a lower low here? Odds are higher now. Oh, my energy call is looking pretty good, except for my dunce of a stock, which is Exxon. But yeah, I told you guys on the 28th, released that article on the website, and I said look for energy here to get moving. So oil up 3.5. It was up like another 5% at one point. You did leave a fat gap here. I don't like that. But we made higher highs. So new high going back to October. A lot of supply up here though. That's why it's backing off. XLE, little gap and crap, but it's still green. XOP, look at all the way back to that big pivot point. That old point of control there. Look at this. Boom, 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 all the way through. So good gain there. OIH is down, but you know, it's holding up all right. Uranium, UCCJ, still going lower here. If it needs to test 48 again. We tested the 200 yesterday, got a nice bounce, but no follow through. Again, the whole market kind of dragging things down here. The problem with CCJ right now is you didn't build any support on this move. Like, none. So I haven't messed with uranium here, URNM, and J also backing off. I haven't messed with this sector in a little while. Gas up. There's $4. See if this can take it higher. See how G looks. Yep. See, is there enough? I mean, there's a lot of supply up here, but it's not a lot of volume, but there's a lot of supply. Dollar we talked about again. I still think it's top heavy, but when currencies reprice, they go fast. My favorite play right now has been gold, so that's been working really well. I mean, it's like kind of a double standard, you know. If rates come down, recession, easing, bullish gold, right? If rates go up, it's instability. bullish gold. And rates are ripping, dollars ripping. Gold does not care at all. It is just going higher. Don't like the gap, but still very strong. And what else is strong is silver. Is this acting as a monetary metal, or is it calling BS on this contraction? I don't know. But it's got a nice flag, nice pennant there. Falling wedge on the weekly. And it's getting ready. Platinum continuing up. Palladium popped out. So we'll look for follow through here or some sort of flag pattern on palladium. But these metals are starting to act better. And copper also gapping up as well. Is that a contract? I don't know if that's a contract or is it saying it's red? And I think that's a contract. Either way, it's higher than it was 2 weeks ago. So either way, nice breakout there. But here's another thing I find interesting too. Bitcoin doesn't care at all. So up 2.25. So again, like I'm not going to rule out the whole like, you know, what are we going to call it? The screw you gap. Like, you know, the gap and go on ES, Globex Sunday night. Because we're seeing certain things that act like that should be acting risk off that aren't. Like Dogecoin's up 3 and 4%, Litecoin's up 3.5%. Like that shouldn't really be a thing here. And like you're not going to tell me it's because of stability. Stop it. But it's still holding its range here. So another reason why I think the market probably doesn't have too much downside left in it. And I'll be very interested to see what put call closes at today. I have to imagine it was above a 2 at one point when we were at the lows. But anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys got the levels there, so you guys know what to do. You guys take care. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there with all the volatility. And I'll see you guys all for CPI week.